How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another video. Now, most of you probably know there's lots of Pokemon fan creations out there. Anything from fan arts to fakemon to Pokemon fusion designs. And of course us YouTubers creating content on this franchise known as Pokemon. But then there are those people out there that go to the lengths and the extremes of creating their own fully scripted, programmed, and fully made Pokemon games. These are known as the Pokemon fan games, and they're made from scratch by super talented people from the Pokemon community. So I decided today to showcase 10 of these fan-made games that I do think are really worth showing. These are super well-made games by super good people that are really talented. Now I do hope you'll enjoy this video, and if you do, then feel free to drop a like down below. And also tell me what you find to be your favorite out of these, fan game made 10 games I'm going to showcase. And if there's any specific fan game made game that I did not mention, then you can always feel free to leave your own list down below, and also let me know down there what you think is a game that I might have missed and that's maybe better than one of the lists that I might have. Then again, these are my opinions, so if you do not agree with me, then feel free to tell me in the comments below what's your own personal list and which is your favorite, fan-made game on this list. Either way, that's going to be it for this introduction. I guess without any further ado, let's get started with this countdown video. Number 10. Okie dokie, so kicking off the list is going to be Pokemon Ethereal Gates, which is a fully fledged Pokemon fan-made game that currently has a demo out for play. The game takes you to the Lenape region, which contains tons of new Pokemon for you to capture. And honestly, Ethereal Gates is one of the best made fan-made games with the probably best fakemon I've ever seen. The game truly is well created, boasting several really good fakemon designs and a huge region with tons of features to discover. But not only that, this game also features some of the best graphics I've seen from any fan game. Everything flows so smoothly, the UI is perfect, and overall it seems like this could be the perfect game if they just end up finishing the game. And I believe they definitely could do that and be probably on a higher spot than spot number 10 on this list, but currently I put it on number 10 spot, mostly because there's only a demo and we'll give it a bit more time before we actually see a proper full game, and then I'll actually put it higher on a future list, because this is a very good game, but at the moment there's only a really short little demo that you can play, but I really want to see more from this game. Ethereal Gates looks amazing. Let's go to number 9. Number 9. Now, next up is a game that truly is a gem. It's going to be Pokemon Chaos, which is a fan game that's been in development for some time now, and it's been on a lot of people's watch list. Well, I'm here to talk about it today as well. Pokemon Chaos is set in the once beautiful, now corrupt region of Sayrock. Normal people in this region used to be able to get their first Pokemon at the age of 10, but due to a terrorist attack that occurred, the region's government changed the rules and twisted around the system so you had to be older to get a Pokemon. That led to essentially less trainers existing and harder regulation. The game essentially puts you into a character that's 17 years old, which is pretty interesting. The game actually features a team called Team Shadow, which is a team that is bent on, well, nobody really knows what they're bent on doing or what they really want to achieve. The Team Shadow organization works from the shadows, essentially, which fits into their name, and any member that is caught by the government ends up taking their own life to not spill any information on their organization. This backstory to the villains makes me really, interested into this thrilling game, and I kind of feel like it would get a really interesting, it got a really deep story when you think about it. I feel like this game might have one of the deepest stories compared to most of the other, Pokemon, Rom hacks and fan games and whatnot that kind of have a rinse and repeat thing going for them, where you're like, oh, get 8 badges and blah blah blah, kind of straightforward. But this game seems to have an interesting story that I do think might seem interesting, to actually play through. So I definitely recommend checking it out. But then again, any other information about the game, well, basically here it is. It's perfect. This game is actually perfect. Pokemon Chaos features a brand new region, like I already mentioned, and it contains about 70 new Pokemon. These are essentially fakemon, and also it has a more mature story, like we mentioned, and also features something that I'm a huge fan of, which is 3 different challenges you can take on. The first are the 8 gym leaders of the region. Then you have the Pokemon League from the Pokemon anime, where you have to battle 8 rounds to be able to enter the Pokemon Champion League, where you take on the Elite Four and the Champion. Having all this really gives you a lot of content to get through, which is great, and I love that. And the game truly looks beautiful, and it plays so well, man. I freaking love it. I would 100% recommend you guys getting your hands on this beauty of a fan game. Number 8. Now, next up is going to be Pokemon Legends of the Arena, which is a bit of a different game. Most players are used to having, you know, the simple thing of taking on gym leaders and collecting 8 badges, and then taking on the Elite Four, and then the champion, and then you essentially become a champion. But in the Legends of the Arena, it is different. The game is set in the land of Aria, which has been essentially on the brink of civil war because of a man that has been said to, you know, come there for the people. He came there to the people and said he was going to lead them and whatnot, but because of him, the nation has been sort of divided between people who want to support this man, who's a random crazy guy, and the other half that don't want to support him. Now, this is pretty interesting to me because, honestly, this looks so cool because the whole, like, concept of this guy dividing them is all because of the International Pokemon Champion League, which is a huge league that this game is centered around, where trainers across the whole world essentially come to this region to battle in this league to get, like, fame, huge fortunes, and essentially become famous. That's essentially what the goal is. Famous, rich, and all that stuff. And that's why a lot of people come to this region. But apparently this man has something against that. Now, the features that this game has are really interesting. The game is aimed to take the best parts from Pokemon Colosseum and the main series games combined. Now, the game has 7 different Eevee starters in the start, where the starters you usually would get would be 3, and essentially to get your starter, you have to enter a little quiz, or you have to answer a little quiz, and depending on what answers you actually give, the game gives you a starter that fits your answers. So it's really interesting. You can get one of the 7 evolutions, which is pretty cool, I gotta say. The game also features side questing and basically a lot of things developing the story that you can actually go through, and it goes really in depth as well. It also tries to, you know, take a different approach compared to most of the other fan games that are, you know, just around. Most fan games have, you know, the normal 8 badges, gym leaders, you know, champion league, boom boom, you become the champion, that's it. But this game tries to do something different, and I like that, so I should definitely check it out, guys. If you do want to have something different from the normal Pokemon games, maybe mixing in some of that Pokemon Colosseum, I definitely recommend this. But let's go to number 7. Number 7. Now, next up is a huge project by the 4chan community. Yes, the 4chan community. Pokemon Sage is a fan game that has been in development for such a long time now, and the game has a demo out right now that can be played, and a new demo coming out later this year. And this game takes you to the Urbos region, which is a huge region based on the United States of America. The game features 200 Pokemon in it and has the coolest starters I have ever seen. The game lets you choose also between 2 different protagonists, a male and a female, and then you ensue in your journey around the Urbos region, where you take on the different challenges such as the evil team in this region called Team Arum, and then also the 8 gym leaders, and then you take yourself to the Elite Four of the region, and then the champion. Now, there is an interesting plot to this game, the telling of a man that is obsessed with a legendary Pokemon called Quetzar, and this all just goes into a huge plot that exists in the game, and if you want to check that out, please do. I don't want to get too in-depth into it before you guys actually read it yourself, but just a general statement, there's this giant Pokemon, it's a legendary, it's fan-made, it looks beautiful. The game features also a ton of new Pokemon, and features just loads of challenges really in this game, and also questing exists and can be done, tons of side quests and whatnot, which is definitely really good, and I would 100% recommend this. It is one of the best looking freaking fan games, and I do like the style of it. This is the way they've taken, like, an approach to it. The starters, that goat, I freaking love it, man. I love that thing. Either way, let's go to number 6. Number 6. Now, Pokemon Melanite is going to be at number 6, and this is a very different sort of fan game. In Pokemon Melanite, you get to join a world that is plagued by evil. The game is centered around, essentially, Darkrai and Darkrai's great plan, as Darkrai cannot stand any light at all, and essentially hides in shadows in rage against the world. Essentially, this thing wants to attack the world and destroy it. Now, you as a player take on a journey in the Zella region, where there are tons of new adventures to discover. The game is really cool and features a story that is quite different from most. The game also features a great plethora of other features, such as the new region of Zella, which is also a feature as always, and also features the option of 3 different save files, which is really cool, man. The game also features the Pokemon Follow system that we saw in Pokemon, you know, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where the Pokemon follows you. It also features GTS and CPU online systems for online battle and whatnot, which is really cool, actually, I've got to say, and also a fully custom UI and interface, as well as 3 Mega Evolutions are built into the freaking game. And also on top of that, they have a Nuzlocke, Randomizer, and Random Lock mode into the game, where you can essentially, if you want to play Nuzlocke, you can press a button and boom, you got Nuzlocke. If you play Randomizer, press a button, you got Randomizer. It's really cool. The game just has loads of features into it. If you want to read on top of all that, you guys can always go to the Pokemon Melanite website and read more in depth about it, and also play the current version that is out. There is a Melanite version that is currently out that you can go and play, but it's limited. It's not the full game yet, but if you want to check it out, I'd recommend 100% 100% go check it out. It's a pretty cool looking game. I played it a long time ago on my YouTube channel, my old channel, and it was definitely fun to play. So I'd 100% recommend, guys, do go check it out. Either way, let's go to the next one. Number 5. Now, next up is going to be a game that most of you might think is not that special, as it features some assets from Pokemon Fire Red and Hoenn games, but damn, this thing is made 100 times better with the amazing graphics by the developer. Pokemon Alchemist is the game that we're taking a look at, and it takes you on a journey through a brand new region. In the starter game, it essentially features normal stuff you'd expect from, Pokemon. You take on gyms, you defeat the evil team, you take on the Elite Four and the champion, but the post-game part in this freaking game, the creator says, is an interesting part of the game. That's what the fun happens. The post-game apparently is a huge departure from other games that have similar features and whatnot, similar Pokemon fan games, or just general Pokemon games in reality, if you know what I mean. This game essentially takes a different route. It doesn't follow the similar route to what happens in all the other games where you become a champion and boom, it's pretty much over after that. Usually, some little extra things happen. In this game, loads of things happen after you're done with the league. And I gotta mention that this fan game is 100% completed and can be played through fully. The game actually also features 11 gyms. The 3 extra ones can be taken on after you finish the Champion League and become the champ. And the game also features side questing and the Pokemon World Tournament. This is essentially the perfect game if you have some time on the side after you've completed like Sun and Moon and you just want to have a bit of a great time, as the game can be played for quite a few hours and it's really, really cool, man. It is definitely one of the coolest games as it is fully completed and features some of the most stunning graphics I've ever seen. It is so well made, and I didn't think with the assets from like Fire Red and Hoenn games and like Red Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, I didn't think they could create like these well created things that are sort of looking like something you'd see in Pokemon like Soul Silver or Heart Gold, or some of the newer ones compared to the Fire Red and Leaf Green ones, which is honestly just so cool, man. I love that they added these extra features to make it look all fancy and whatnot. Seriously, the developer who made Pokemon Alchemist, props to you, fam. Major props to you. Let's go to the next one. Number 4. Now, next up is a game that has had huge influence on the Pokemon community. It's going to be Pokemon Uranium, which was one of the largest projects and biggest and sickest projects ever created, being developed for several years, just to get shut down on the day they put out the fan game was a huge shame and a blow to the developers. Pokemon Uranium is a fully fledged and new game that features tons of fakemon, and they are super well designed. The game takes you to the world of Tandor, where there are currently 150 new Pokemon and also tons of old Pokemon featuring in it. The game also has a new typing that's called the Nuclear type, and this nuclear reference that I mentioned here actually gets brought up a lot in the actual game and the story. It's a huge part of the plot where nuclear Pokemon get involved and whatnot, and nuclear plants and all those things. And I definitely recommend checking it out, since it's, I don't want to spoil it for you. I wanted you all to check it out yourself. It can still be, downloaded, and it's been in development since 2007. And I don't want to spoil the plot for you, because it would be a shame to ruin such a fun experience that I 100% recommend for anybody to try out. But seriously, outside of that, outside of the extra Pokemon you have, the new typing, what else does this game have? Well, it has a brand new UI, a fully custom-made UI system that is super well created. The game also features loads of new tiles, custom-made features that are amazing, as well as side questing and just extra things to do, really. It's so many things you can do. And if you're thinking this game is going to be easy, well, don't go in with that feeling, because it can get hard. And it does also feature, like some of the other games, the feature of having Nuzlocke, Randomizer, and Randomizer Lock onto it, because the game actually allows that in itself. There is an option at the start of the game, which is really cool. I do love that, and I'm currently playing through this game on my channel, and I give it my seal of approval. Seriously, I give it my 100% seal of approval. It is definitely a fun game, and it's worth checking out. Either way, let's go to the next one. Number 3. Next up are 2 games called Pokemon Zeta and Pokemon Omicron, which have both been around for quite some time, I've got to say right now. These 2 fan games are legendary, and they're loaded with features, man. The game's story starts out quite weirdly. You wake up from sleeping, and as you wake up, you see a lot of fire around you. The city, or rather the town you live in, is under fire, and you start panicking. The character picks up the tape recorder and then asks, essentially yourself with the tape recorder, are you a boy or a girl? You answer several questions, and after you answered all the questions, your panic settles down. You kind of get your mind, set, and you understand what you're going to do. So you head towards an emergency exit route, but you notice your mother and the local professor, and you run towards them. You ask them who the people that are attacking the city and starting the fires are, and they answer that it's Team Olympus. Now, this is only a snippet of the story, and I honestly gotta say, I love it. I love where it's kind of going, and it's pretty interesting, and that's why it takes the number 3 spot. The game features an extensive amount of freaking content. It's promised to have over 70 hours of gameplay. And honestly, there's loads of fun to be made out of these games. Honestly, it's amazing how much content there is in this. You also get 2 different regions to take on, and a total of 12 badges to collect, and 4 sigil halls to conquer, as well as the Battle Frontier. Not only that, but this game is actually loads harder than most Pokemon games, and it's actually had its difficulty boosted by a lot to make it a lot harder to play through, and increase the challenge. And then, of course, there are no HMs in this game. There's none needed. The game also has a challenge mode like Nuzlocke, randomizers, and that sort of stuff, and actually quite a few more. Now, what I do find fun about this game as well is the fact that it actually increases the level cap in this game from 100 to essentially 150 as far as I understood, or 120, I couldn't remember exactly, which is pretty darn sick. I do like that you can actually level them up above 100, which is pretty cool, and I do think it's a sick pair of 2 games, like, you know, having Zeta and Omicron. It's really interesting. I think the only difference between them is the legendaries and whatnot, which then again also is pretty interesting. I do like that they add 2 different legendaries. I can't remember which ones they were. I think it was one of them was freaking Jirachi, but I can't remember what the other one was. But either way, I do think these are some interesting games and 100% worth playing through. I would recommend downloading them, and if you're gonna have yourself, you know, a long-ass play session, well, here you go. This game features over 70 hours of gameplay, so I'd recommend getting your hands on it, as this is definitely a great freaking fan game to check out. Let's go to number 2. Number 2. Now, next up is a game that most of you might be familiar with, and it's going to be Pokemon Insurgence, that is currently still in development, but has a playable launcher and version out that can be essentially played. Now, what separates this game from the other fan games is that the region, or the plot perhaps, you know, or maybe the characters, that may be what separates it. No. All those things, yes, they do separate it, but also the amazing addition of so many more features in this game. The game features several Mega Evolutions. It features also custom-made ones and real ones, real Mega Evolutions and custom-made Mega Evolutions. The game also features a brand new type of Pokemon called the Delta species, which takes the Pokemon you love and changes them around to give them a new twist, a new typing, and new look. Essentially, it is Alola forms prior to Alola forms. Of course, the game also features a new region, being the Tauren region, that's essentially being played by several cults at the moment that kill off their members and sacrifice humans to summon things like Darkrai and other demonic powers and whatnot. The game also features an online full support for those who want to do a bit of trading and maybe friend battles and whatnot. The game also allows you to fully customize your character, and it has tons of customization in it. It also has over 722 of the original Pokemon from Gen 1 to 6, and of course also the new Delta forms and the Mega Evolutions. The game also has the Nuzlocke mode, the randomizer mode, and many more. You can also have yourself this pretty cool thing called Pokemon Armor, where you put armor on your Pokemon to make their defense higher, which is kind of random, but pretty interesting. I've never seen that before. Overall, this game is packed with features and tons of things to discover, so I would 100% recommend it. Give it a shot. You know, if you have a bit of time over, do check it out. And also, it does have a pretty, pretty good amount of time you can play through in the current versions. It also has a really interesting plot, and I do not want to really spoil it for you guys, but I've got to say that's why it's on number 2. It's got an interesting story, tons of features, and I freaking love it. I played it myself. It's a great game, so do check out Pokemon Insurgence. Let's go to number 1. Number 1. And coming at the number 1 spot is the currently most anticipated Pokemon fan game, known as Pokemon Phoenix Rising. This game has been under development for quite some time now, but has yet to get a demo or release date. Especially with the increase of DMC claims from Nintendo, a lot of fan game developers are worried that their games will get shut down before they manage to finish them. Now, what does make actually Phoenix Rising so much greater than all the other ones? Well, like most of the other fan games, it features a brand new region. This one is called Hawthorne. The game takes place in this region, and under a long time, this place has been under peace, following the fall of the region's previous king. The region essentially now is led by these oracles, but lately the oracles have been put into question by the people because of the arrival of a man saying that he's the son of the fallen king. Now, there's a lot more plot that get through here, and there's so many more things you guys can discover, but I mainly want to focus on the actual features in the game. And what does this game feature? Well, see, Pokemon Phoenix Rising features something that no other Pokemon game have, which is choice and consequence. Now, what does this actually mean? Well, the game features a set of choices that essentially are between good and evil. These choices will actually alter the path that you're led through in this game. It is not a linear game. You can actually change the outcome of the game. And the game features several endings, so the path you take through the game will actually alter the outcome of the playthrough, which makes the replayability a lot more likely. There's loads of skill trees in the game that allow you to purchase these talents throughout the game that you can use on your Pokemon and whatnot. Also, the game has a university you can go to, we can study and eventually get to pick a trainer class you would like to be. And, you know, there's so many more things in this game. There's also a difficulty option in the game. You can pick between hard modes and easy modes. It also has a Pokestrap, which is a sort of like UI utility tool that exists in the game. The GUI, the thing you see on your screen with the Pokeballs in the back and whatnot. And essentially, it's really essential to your journey. This thing has a lot of things packed into it. The game also features several freaking quest lines and several side quests and a full-on quest system, as well as character customization to fully make your character into your own. And finally, the last feature that I want to mention is the amazing custom soundtrack created for this fan game. They are just fantastic. Now, I know all these other fan games as well do have custom soundtracks, but this one has my personal favorite. I love it, man. And I really would recommend keep your eyes out for the 2017 demo that is planned to come out this year for this game. But that's going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm sorry for going on for so long. If you did enjoy, then drop a like down below. Feel free to subscribe for future videos, but also make sure to check out these fan games and just have a blast with them. The ones that are completed and even the demos, do take a look at all of them. And guys, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll catch you trainers the next time. Bye bye.